Well, hello there. What a terrible week it's been. So, just to recap what happened in the beginning, in the early days, back in January or the 2nd, it was, I'd finished work, end of the month stuff, absolutely shattered. So I decided to put my feet up and watch a bit of television. Anyway, I fell asleep with my feet on my footstool. And next to the footstool was this oil-filled radiator. Anyway, while I was asleep, I must have moved my foot across the oil-filled radiator so that my one leg was on the footstool, and the other leg was now the other side of the heater, and my left toe came into contact with the heater, my left big toe. Anyway, I got up and got into bed, not noticing that I'd actually done anything. So I woke up on the 3rd, and I thought, oh, that doesn't look right. So I looked a bit closer at my big toe, and it was all blistered. And I thought, well, I must have done something. I don't know what I've done. I couldn't think of what I'd done because it happened during my sleep. And of course, being a diabetic, I can't feel my feet. So I put my socks on, went to work. Anyway, the blister burst, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I thought, well, it's just be like any other blister on my foot. It will go away, and it will heal, and it'll be fine. Anyway, about the 5th or 6th of January, I went to see the medical guy, and he said, "Oh, we haven't got anything for that," because I said I might have burnt my foot on this oil-filled radiator. I said I may have burnt it on there, and he said, "Well, as you're going home in a few days' time, anyway, and we don't have anything to treat burns." That's pretty good for a ship that goes deep sea. Well, deep sea as we do, which is really coastal work, I suppose. Anyway, so thought nothing of it. Just carried on as normal. I got home on the 10th of January. My wife looked at my foot because I told her about it. And as soon as I got in the door, she says, "Let's have a look at that foot of yours." Anyway, next thing I know is I'm off to the hospital. I went down to one of these drop-in centres because you can't see a doctor these days. Anyway, I went straight in to see the drop-in centre. I spent a good 6 hours there, and eventually they said, "Right, you'll go into hospital." They took some X-rays and stuff like that, and they obviously missed a lot of stuff. Anyway, so they sent me off to hospital, and I was put on an intravenous drip of antibiotics. The surgeon come round and said, "Oh yeah, you're probably going to lose your toe," and he said, "But we'll see what happens." And he said, "Oh, we want to check your blood supply to your foot." So they did an angioplasty, which involves putting a tube down a vein, and they inject dye and watch it highlight your veins. And they found a blockage. Yeah, okay. So they found a blockage, and they said, "There's nothing we can do. We can't unblock it." Anyway, so they went back to the ward, and they said, "Your toe looks like it's getting better." That's what they told me. So we're going to send you home with some antibiotics. Anyway, I got back home, and a couple of weeks went past, and the Monday before, I went in and had the dressings changed on my foot, and it looked better. The pictures that I took were better, which is rather surprising. So when I went in on the following last Thursday, it looked absolutely dreadful when they changed the dressing. But this time I was actually at the podiatry centre in Hull, where they do a lot of this stuff. And when they pulled the dressing off, they started poking around inside the wound on my foot, and they pulled out a huge, great piece of bone and said, oh, we think you've got a secondary infection in there. And straight off to the ward. I didn't even get a chance to take my car home. My car was still at the hospital in the car park, generating charges. Anyway, they straight off to the ward. Luckily, there was a bed available, and I went straight up there. This was on last Thursday. They said they were going to put me in for a surgery on the Friday. So it was on Thursday night. It was nil by mouth from midnight, and no water from 4 a.m, which is a bit, it's hard going without a drink. Anyway, Friday came and went. No, didn't get down there. Saturday, again, they said, right, you're going to be the first one down. So that was nil by mouth from midnight again, and no water from 4 a.m. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Saturday morning came and went, and it was 2:20. They eventually took me down for surgery, and this was literally less than a week ago now, 6 days ago, last Thursday. Today is now Wednesday. So I went down for surgery Saturday morning. No, I didn't. I went down for surgery on Saturday afternoon, 4:20. I was actually plonked onto the operating table. They numbed my leg from the knee down. They put one of these nerve blockers in. Terrible thing. But I'm glad they did, because I think it might have hurt a bit. So they cut my toe off. They cut my big toe off, right off. So if you can imagine a piece of chicken, get a chicken, and then you hack the drumstick off. Well, that's what I got left. I got the wound where the drumstick was. Yeah, it's not very pleasant. I do have pictures. I won't put the pictures up unless, of course, you ask for them, but I don't think you will, because it's quite disgusting. Yeah, so on the Monday after the surgery, they took the dressing off for me to have a look, and they let me take some pictures of it. It's really not nice. There's all sorts of tubes and pipes sticking out of my foot, and it just doesn't look pleasant at all. Absolutely horrid. And they redressed it on the Monday and said, right, you can go home now. Yeah, that was fun. I had literally half an hour with the physio to teach me how to walk up and down stairs and how to walk. It's a good job I got a walking stick, which that really does help. But yeah, I tell you now, losing your big toe is a big issue, really, because that's how you walk. You can't, without your big toe, it feels like your foot's just falling into a hole, and you've several times now I've almost fallen because I just haven't had the balance to stay upright. One of them was last night when I was trying to wash my hair, because I can't get my foot wet, and the plastic sock that I got to put over my foot it's not quite, it won't stretch big enough with this new dressing on. It won't stretch big enough, so I didn't get into the shower. I just washed my hair from the outside. Anyway, it's it doesn't look good. So anyway, I keep saying anyway, don't I? That's because I'm a bit nervous and still in a bit of shock, to be fair. So what I did today was I went back into town again to see the podiatrists, and they said my foot is looking a lot better. And I've got one of these funny shoes to wear. I might just take a picture of it. Anyway, yeah, said it again, haven't I? That's because I'm a bit full of anxiety at the moment, stress of this particular amputation. Anyway, so that's about it. That's a story of my foot. I won't ever go through the story of that again, because it is pretty disgusting down there. But yeah, I've got this funny shoe to wear, where it's like a giant heel with no toe support. Real strange. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting around now. I've had a few days to get used to walking on this funny shoe while it heals up. And of course, it does help with the walking stick. Yeah. So the next job is to get a blue badge to make life a bit easier if I have to go out. Anyway, so I'm going to call it a day here. Well, I've got hiccups and tired. And I'll see you all on the next one. I'm going to do a little vlog now just to keep everything updated about everything else. Anyway, so I'll catch you all later. Bye then.